Hi everyone, my name's Jessica. I'm a second-year doctoral student studying nursing practice, and today we're going to talk about what you need to prepare for NP school. So the first thing you're going to need to do is to create a plan. Identify what days you're going to do schoolwork and set aside time. I think one of the biggest issues with NP school is managing a work-life balance as well as with school. So if you can identify times that you're going to do schoolwork and be able to study, it's really, really helpful to stay on top of all the classes that you will have to do. Number 2 is you definitely are going to need some electronics. So you're definitely going to need a laptop. I really recommend Apple. Those are the ones that I like. You can use a Windows computer if that's what you like, but I personally like Apple. So you're definitely going to need a laptop. There's a ton of papers that you're going to write and projects and PowerPoint presentations, but specifically a lot of research. So you're definitely going to need a computer. Number 3 is I really recommend you create some sort of research system. The first couple semesters you can kind of get by printing out research and highlighting them, but it starts to really build up the amount of papers that you're gonna have, and then you might find yourself just throwing them away. So it's really helpful to have this sort of system in place when you get to the end of your studies and you have to do your big thesis paper, to have all your research together into a research system. And if you want to learn how to create a research system, definitely check out my video, it'll be linked above. And really what it does is creates a paperless storage system, like a file cabinet that houses all of the research that you do and all the articles that you use, and makes it really, really easy to find the information that you're looking for. So I highly recommend you set that up before school starts and sort of understand how it works, because then while you're in school, you won't have to do all that extra work. Number 4, I think it's really important to identify people and places that you will want to do your clinicals. Although you'll be in school for a year or 2, or maybe 3, depending on your program, before you start your clinicals. Most nurse practitioner programs don't find your clinicals for you. Roughly about 6 months to a year before you start your clinicals, when you'll have to get all the paperwork in and things like that. So you want to definitely do that all ahead of time. You don't want to be a month before your clinical start and not have a clinical placement. So kind of just keep that in the back of your mind. Ask around if people would be willing to precept you, and just prepare for that a little bit beforehand, because that can be a little stressful trying to find clinical preceptors. Number 5 is you definitely should get acquainted with APA, because APA is what you use for all your research, way of citing different references, and it is a whole style of writing that you may not be familiar with or are roughly familiar with from your undergrad. Things like title pages and abstracts and headings and subheadings, and the way references are written and the way references are cited in your papers are all have to follow these APA guidelines. If you can know them beforehand, it can be really helpful in writing your papers. Also, there are some resources that you can use. There's something called Perla. I'll link it down below, and that helps you format in APA style your papers. It definitely makes it easier. I would say be aware of how things are supposed to be under APA, like how references are supposed to be written, how they're supposed to be cited in text, but then use Perla as a way to kind of streamline and just save yourself a lot of time. So, number 6 is to decide if you want to be paperless or not. So if you did check out my video about setting up a research system, that's a paperless system. And also, if you want to do most of your schoolwork paperless, that's really great to kind of get those systems in place before you start your semester. If you want to use paper, then definitely get your binders, get your dividers. You can set it up different modules for each class, or if you are someone like me who prefers to be paperless, the only paper I really use is a handwritten planner, because I do like to write out what's due each week and just kind of check it off. But besides that, I do everything paperless, and that's the way I like it. But yes, so I think before you start NP school, identify if you want to be paperless, and then figure out what systems to put in place to be paperless. And lastly, I would say once you are in an NP program, it's really important to try to stay a week ahead of your classes. Typically, the teachers will allow you to see your coursework a week or 2 ahead of time. Things can build up quickly, and life can happen very quickly, and things can happen that you aren't accounting for, and you can easily fall behind. So if you can try to stay about a week ahead, that kind of gives you some leeway when things in life don't go as planned. And, NP school is a very long time in the sense of 2 to 4 years, depending on what program you're doing, even up to 5 years if you're part-time. So things can happen in 5 years. So definitely give yourself a little bit of that leeway, especially if you're working or have children. It's really important to stay ahead because life can happen. So those are all the things I would say to know before you start NP school. I hope that helped you guys. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe below. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.